Some say Chinese is one of the most difficult languages in the world, and learning it is almost impossible.
So learning Chinese, the most difficult thing.
非常非常非常非常非常难.
So I'm sort of tone deaf. I can't really hear them.
I think the cultural mindset is the biggest complication for
The
us.
grammar.
知吃思诗都还难
It's just complicated so much.
Only because you're not learning it in the right way. Why not try Takeaway Chinese, where you can take some Chinese away and experience progress day by day. Takeaway Chinese, we will promise you a difference.
你好，欢迎收听随行汉语 Welcome to Takeaway Chinese. I'm Fei Fei, and joining me today in the studio, as usual, is our Tony Reid.
What's going on? What's going on? How are you? Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, it is.
Looking forward for you to teach me something, and I think the topic is something that I can probably relate to a little bit.
Yeah, I have this question for you. Do you consider yourself as someone who would go after thrills? For instance, if you're in a theme park, do you prefer going up on the roller coaster or merry-go-round?
Definitely not the merry-go-round. That's if I want to vomit, then I'll go on a merry-go-round. But a roller coaster, those are okay. It depends on the kind of roller coasters, because some of them, they loop around and they swing around, and those I'm a little more reluctant to do. But if it's just on a regular track and it just goes up and down, then I'm cool with that. So yeah, roller coaster. I'm more of a roller coaster kind of guy.
You pick roller coasters. Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm the other way around. I would throw up on roller coasters.
You would throw up on roller coasters?
Yes, I will. And I feel pity for those people who are sitting behind me. I guess,
I just got a really bad visual when you said that.
But for merry-go-round, because I'm not that kind of person who'd go after the stimulation in different senses. Like when I watch a movie, I'm not really into, the recent blockbusters that have a lot of fighting and with giants and a lot of big sound effects.
Really?
And
so you like the boring movies, huh?
No, I wouldn't call it boring, but I'm into romance. A little quiet environment instead of, people fighting gunshots.
I see. So yeah, you're more of a merry-go-round kind of person, kind of stick with the same and do it again and again and again. And for me, a roller coaster is I like that sentiment too, but it's nice to actually have a different extreme emotion that comes and goes and, variety.
I think a lot of people right now in China are actually on your side.
On my wavelength, huh?
Yeah, I also think that roller coasters are getting a little boring for them at this point, that they're looking for something more extreme to play with. For instance, skydiving or surfboards, something that you will lose control when you're playing it.
Or just or you could lose your life. I think that some people are what you would call, I guess I'll go over that a little bit later. But yeah, that sounds like an extreme sport or activity.
Yes, it is. It's getting very huge and trendy right now in China, especially among young people. And that's why I think it's important for you and also our listeners to know how to say things surrounding extreme sports, which is 极限运动.
极限运动.
Yes.
Okay.
So for those of you who are interested in the Chinese culture and you want to get a grip on the Chinese language, then this is the show for you. Stick with us for 30 minutes and you will see the rewards. Also, for more fun Chinese learning, you can follow us on Facebook by searching CRI Learn Chinese to watch many fun videos and live streams. But now, let's provide you with some free Chinese for takeaway.
你在看什么呢？这么聚精会神。
我在看别人攀岩的视频呢，他们真是艺高人胆大。
我可不敢挑战这些极限运动，看看视频过过眼瘾算了。
没错，没有专业的保护和指导，不要轻易尝试。
So, sentence by sentence of this dialogue. 你在看什么呢？这么聚精会神。
So this is, what are you looking at? You seem to be so into it. Yeah?
Yes.
So, 你在, this is like you, and it's like doing something. Like the zai is the ing, or you're at or doing something.
Yes.
And then 看什么? So 看 is look.
Or watch.
So, or watch. So watching. And then 什么 is what?
Yes.
Yeah. And then 怎么? So 怎么 means like, it's kind of like so, right?
It's kind of like so. It's like the level of your attention here. It's the level of the things they're describing.
Okay. And then 聚精会神.
Yes.
I think this is kind of an expression, right?
Yes, it's a Chinese idiom. The four-word idiom, which means focus all of your attention on certain things.
Okay.
In translation, we can just simply put it, you are very into it right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also, there is a very important, interesting part here with the 呢 in the end of the first sentence. 你在看什么呢?
Yeah, because normally we don't need to, you could just say 什么, right? And normally that's the end of the question where you're asking what.
Yes.
But here you have a 呢, and it's like, yeah, is that like just something to sound pretty or what?
It's an exclamation. It doesn't really have any meanings, but it's a way of softening your tones here.
Okay.
That you don't want sound to be really demanding or direct. Because, in the Chinese culture, being direct normally is not polite enough. So you want to sound indirect, and especially in daily conversations, in colloquial languages, it's important to have this kind of words like 呢, or 'n. It doesn't really have any meaning. It's just soften your tones a lot.
Okay.
And you can use it in a range of sentences and expressions.
Okay.
Yes, especially, for instance, 你去不去逛街呢? Do you want to go shopping?
Oh, right.
Do you want to go shopping? And with the 呢 in the ending of the sentence, it sounds really polite and also kind.
Okay.
Yes.
Because if you don't, then it just sounds like, are you going shopping or not?
Yes, it's very demanding. Like, you better go shopping with me, otherwise, So, and also, especially now, like among young people, in our, we text a lot,
right,
online or on our phones. Having this 呢, the word 呢 or or 呀, is very important in daily communication right now. As I find it, yes. For instance, we know when I trying to say 好的, which means okay,
right,
is the way to say it in the Chinese language. But now, among young people, you would want to say it as 好的呢.
So this must be new, because I since I've been here, I've always heard 好的, and it's always been said with a soft tone for me, like when I hear it. But now there's an extra soft tone.
Yeah, I think this kind of culture now is like mostly happening among people who are younger than 30 years old.
Okay.
So it's very recent.
Is it girls and guys, or is it just a girl thing?
I think it happens to both genders.
Okay.
It's just a way, because when we are texting each other, we don't really know the tone of you,
right,
the other part of this conversation.
Right.
And we always want to make sure that the other part is not misinterpreting what we are trying to say. And having a 呢 in the end of your sentence, again, you will sound less demanding and also very polite. And also for girls, it sounds a little cute.
Okay.
Yeah, so when you are texting, you can also insert a little 呢 in the end of your sentence, and to make it a little polite.
All right, that's good to know.
And let's go on to the next one. 我在看别人攀岩的视频呢，他们真是艺高人胆大。
So this is, I'm watching a video of people rock climbing, and they're so skilled and courageous. So 我在看, so I am watching, and then 别人, so this is like other people,
Other
right?
people, just people that are not you and me.
Right. And then 攀岩.
攀岩.
Oh, 攀岩. So this 攀岩 means like rock climbing.
Yes.
的视频呢, right? I think this is a video, yeah?
Videos, yes.
Okay, so I'm watching other people in a rock climbing video. And then 他们, so they.
Yeah.
真实, so this is so.
Yes.
And then 艺高人, So I think this is an expression, right? So you have to say it all together. 艺高人胆大.
Yes, 艺高人胆大.
And that just means that skilled and brave, right?
Yes, 艺 in particular means skills.
Okay.
And 高 means high, which means you have a lot of skills and of a very high level. And 人 is people, of course. 胆大 is very brave and courageous. So this idiom can be referring to people who are really skillful and also very courageous to do a lot of things that other people can't.
Okay.
And the next one is 我可不敢挑战这些极限运动。看看视频，过过眼瘾，算了。
I really wouldn't dare to try these extreme sports. I just watch the videos for the thrill. All right, so we have 我可不敢, right? Mm-hmm. So this 可 means like really, yeah?
Like really is a way of emphasize on the level, just like what we mentioned above, like 这么 or 真实 or 真 is just used in different contexts.
All right. 不敢. So 不敢 here, I think that's like wouldn't dare do something, right?
Yes.
And the 可 is like it emphasizes that.
Yeah, I really don't dare to do this.
Okay, all right. And then 挑战, right?
挑战.
挑战, this is like to try.
I would say it's more like to challenge.
Okay.
To make this bold try, to make this bold challenge.
Okay. And then 直学, this is these.
Mm-hmm,
yeah.
yes.
And then 极限运动, and I think that's the extreme sport.
Yes, that's the theme of our dialogue today.
And then we have 看看视频. So this is 看看 means just watch or look.
Yeah. Watch.
Watch video, 视频.
Yes.
And then 国国, so it's saying it again, 言引, right?
言引.
Okay, so this is where I'm a little bit, so I think 国国 means to spend, right? Or spend time doing something?
Yeah, it can be translated that way.
And then 言引 is, I'm not sure what that is exactly.
So 眼, you can understand 眼, which means the eyes,
Uh-huh.
right? And 引 is, and can be translated as an obsession or an addiction. And
Eye candy.
yeah, exactly. Yes,
eye candy.
Eye candy. So 过眼瘾 is a way of saying that I'm just watching it. I'm not gonna try it, put it into action myself. So it's like this is an eye candy for me, just like I said, you said. And also there is a way I think can be really different from English expression is to have two action words. For instance, 看看视频.
Yeah.
过过眼瘾. And I think we also talked about, for instance, 锻炼.
Right.
Yeah, I know having like replication, duplication in English language is always looked down. But in Chinese, it's an important way of expression, especially in colloquial languages.
Okay.
For instance, 看视频 meaning watch videos. 看看视频 it refers to the action of watching these videos and makes it more casual when you are speaking this expression. 看看视频.
Well, in summary, I think that just means that you're lightening the tone again.
Yes.
Right.
Because, as I just said, that in the Chinese culture and also in the Chinese language, you don't want sound direct. And so you want to lighten the tone here and there just to make sure that you are polite and nice and kind.
I see.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, and also that's a way that you can put it into use. For instance, I will give it a try. 我试试. Can I have a look? 我能看看吗? 我看看. I'll have a look. So it's not, you can't really say I can. 我看. You can't really say 我看. I look. That would sound a little odd. It's not grammatically wrong, but it's just sounding a little odd.
People don't say it in that way.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, that's important. I mean, if I'm saying things that's in the dictionary, but people don't say it in that way, then it's going to be weird, right?
Yeah, it's happened to a lot of language learners.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, like when I was learning English, that happened to me as well.
Yeah.
Sometimes, especially in the beginning, I would use phrases like, let me see.
Let me see.
But, but in English, you would just say, let me see.
Right.
But let me see sounds like what kind of weird person I am.
Yeah.
Like saying words like this,
Yeah, like you're trying to reinvent the language.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the sentence, there's 算了.
算了, yeah.
So what is that exactly in this context? Because you have 国国言音算了.
So in this context, it can be meaning just. I'm just watch the videos for the thrills, for the fun.
Okay.
So, and 算了 can also means let it go.
Let
For
it go.
instance, you are frustrating over a certain thing, and I can reply to you as 算了吧. Just let it go.
Okay.
Yeah.
That wouldn't work for me, but yeah, I get it. That's a useful word.
Yeah. And then the last one is 没错，没有专业的保护和指导，不要轻易尝试。
And this is, I know we shouldn't try these without professional protection and guidance. So 没错, I think this is no mistake, right?
Yes. Direct translation would be no mistake, not wrong.
And then 没有 means don't have, right?
Without.
Or without.
Yeah.
专业的. This means like professional.
Yes.
And then 专业的保护. 保護, isn't this like protection?
Yes.
和, and this is and. 指导. 指导. Those are two tone threes, which is really hard. I think that's guidance, yeah?
Yes.
And then 不要轻易, so 不要 means like do not.
Yes.
轻易 is like easily, and then 尝试 is like to do something or try something, right?
Yes. And 没错 is a very useful word as well, because by the expression itself, it sounds like you are not wrong. But actually, a lot of people, especially I think for those of us who live in northern regions, and 没错 meaning, okay, yes, I know. Something is sounding a little more positive than it suggested. So, do you want to give a try of this whole conversation now?
Okay. 你在看什么这么聚精会神？
我在看别人攀岩的视频呢，他们真是艺高人胆大。
我可不敢挑战这些极限运动，看看视频过眼瘾算了。
没错，没有专业的保护和指导，不要轻易尝试。You're listening to Takeaway Chinese with myself, Fei Fei, with Tony Reid in the studio. We would love to hear from you. Send us your thoughts via email to learnchinese@cri.com.cn. And coming up next, we'll talk more about extreme sports, 极限运动. Don't go away, so you will take some Chinese away. Welcome back to Takeaway Chinese. I'm Fei Fei, joined by Tony Reid in the studio. So Tony, you just mentioned that you are more into the thrills and actions. So would you try, or have you tried any of extreme sports before?
I think boxing qualifies as an extreme sport. So yes, I've done boxing. I currently do something called eskrima or arnis, which is a Filipino military or combat training. And this is, if you're not careful, you can get hurt doing that. And I wouldn't say I do it for the thrill. So I'm a martial artist, and I think that's really as far as I go. Because for me, it's practical, and I can use it in not daily life, hopefully not, but I can use it. It's applicable for survival.
Yes.
And of course, some people do it for sports. But some of the other extreme sports, like I think some of the some of the skiing or snowboarding.
Yeah, have you tried that before?
I've tried skiing once. That was interesting.
Oh, that's an interesting expression. I want to dig in.
Hey, it was interesting. And then I've never done snowboarding because I don't like the feeling of my feet being strapped to something. So it was really uncomfortable. But I've tried wakeboarding.
Wakeboarding?
Yeah, this was interesting.
Oh, what's wakeboarding is about?
Well, if you have a fast boat and the boat takes off and you're at the tail end of the boat holding onto a string, and then you have a boat, your feet are boarded on some, board, and then you have to stand and then go, and that was, I tried that.
Sea, right?
Yeah, I was in a lake, so yeah, that was kind of cool, but yeah, again, it's a little dangerous. If you're not careful, you can,
oh my god,
get hurt.
Yeah, I'm not really a water person. Anything involves water, except for maybe swimming a little bit. But I can only swim in a pool, like in a really still water environment. I can't go into a lake or the ocean, which I think when I was maybe 10 years ago, I went to New Zealand. And then they have this recreational activity which is called swimming with dolphins.
Oh.
And I thought that means I'm going to a pool. And with professional guidance and protection, 专业的指导和保护, I'm gonna, swim slowly with a trained dolphin. But no, they drives us into the middle of the ocean. And then the captain just said, you can jump in now. There's a wild dolphin swimming towards us right now. You can catch up with them. But I was like,
wow,
that's wild. Like, I wasn't, you didn't even check with me if I can swim or not. And now you're asking me to dip into the ocean and to swim with wild dolphins.
You must have signed a waiver and didn't know it.
Yes. It's too much of, which reminds me of another idiom, which is called 惊心动魄. Too horrifying for me. And I didn't dare to go in, even though I paid hundreds of dollars.
Wow, you didn't get in the water.
No, it was just too much for me. Too 惊心动魄, too horrifying.
How do you say waste of money?
费钱.
费钱.
Yes, it's a waste of money.
So 费钱 or 浪费钱?
费钱.
Ah, 费钱. Okay.
Yeah, that's the closest experience of me with extreme sports.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it encompasses a lot. I think that for sports, just anything where you could possibly get hurt, I think any MMA or martial arts are full contact sports. And I think there's quite a few examples.
Yeah, and also I think right now, a lot of people around the world, especially those in China, they are pretty interested in getting involved in these sports involving jumping off a really high place.
Oh, yeah, some people like doing that. Bungee jumping is another.
Yes.
Yeah, which is I've never done, and I don't think I'll ever do. To me, that just doesn't make any sense at all. It's purely for the thrill. And I think earlier I was going to say something called adrenaline junkie. And these are people who are just like addicted like a drug to adrenaline.
Yeah.
And that feeling that you have when you're almost about to die, and you just have this, wired feeling. That's adrenaline, and they're addicted to it. So yeah, bungee jumping, skydiving, like you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
This is insane.
I've skydived before.
You have?
I have.
Oh, okay. So then what are you talking about? You're coming off as you're afraid of this and that, and you don't do extreme activities, and you're jumping out of a plane?
Well, I have someone protect me. I have professional help.
Yeah, okay.
It's someone, I think it's a professional skydiver who basically strapped me on him like I'm a baggage or something, and he jumped off the plane. I'm just to go along with the trip.
Oh my goodness, that's insane.
Yeah,
no way.
And I think that's once in a lifetime is enough for me. It's not something, I know people who travel around the world to go to different places to skydive or to ski because, different weathers, different landscapes give you different senses and stimulations. but that's not really for me.
No, me neither. I think that there's a lot of other dangers in life that can take you out, and I'm not going to put myself in a circumstance that's going to make it easier for me to have a short life. Because it's like if something does happen and you end up passing away from doing these sports, it's like, well, what were you thinking in the first place? I feel like if people go to my funeral, they'll just be shaking their heads like, what was this guy thinking? You know?
But maybe that's what a lot of the extreme sports fans are after. Like, they are challenging themselves to push the limits of human bodies or their bravery to another level. Like, for instance, if someone is skiing down on a professional I don't know, what's it called, a professional resort. And then someone would go up to a mountain. There's mountain skiing where you ski down from Alps or some natural landscapes, which is another level of challenge.
Yeah, it's insanity. There was a documentary film called First Descent, and there was some of the world's most renowned snowboarders or mountain skiers, as you call them. And they went to the top of a peak, and then they were dropped off, I think, by a helicopter, and they just skied down, and then an avalanche broke out, and then they skied down with the avalanche behind them. So if they made a mistake, that was it. And so they just kept going. They survived, but it was just like, it looked really cool, but it was just like, if these guys make a mistake, it's over. So it's just, it's some people just live on this side. They like to live life dangerously.
Yeah, but maybe, or that they're really skillful with their skiing. They're 艺高人胆大.
人胆大?
人胆大.
Is that ego?
艺高.
Oh, 艺高.
人胆大.
人胆大.
They're really skillful and they're really brave and want to push their limit a little over the edge.
Yeah, I guess so.
So, and
how do you say insane?
Insane.
Yes.
疯狂.
疯狂. Okay. 疯狂人.
疯狂的人 is like people who are insane or crazy.
Yeah.
But I think I've watched a lot of the videos. You know, a lot of the mountain skiers right now, they have a camera on top of their helmet.
Yeah.
And they film the whole process, which is really fun to watch. It's a nice way to 过眼瘾, to just watch it for the thrill. Maybe that's another contribution to the society, you know, for a lot of us who are not there.
We'll never do that.
Yeah, who wouldn't dare to actually ski down on the peak of a mountain.
Right.
We can just watch the video and experience that stimulations, which is in a safe environment.
Yeah, I'm down for that. I mean, I could probably enjoy it that way, but yeah, that's just it's too much. Very dangerous. How do you say dangerous? Very dangerous.
危险.
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 Wow, that sounds like the WeChat, the app that we use, 微信. It means dangerous, huh?
in character, they're different. 微信means, that way means small or micro.
Right.
And 危险, that way is written differently, mostly means hazard or danger. If you see that way, meaning there is danger surrounding it.
So it's 危险.
危险.
Okay, not 微信.
No.
Okay, it sounds like... I was going to say WeChat sounds like it's dangerous. Okay, got it. But one thing it does do is, earlier you mentioned ego, which I thought is kind of funny. But it does give you... for some people, they have a lot of pressure in their life. It gives you an opportunity to take your mind and focus on something else, or focus on the present. You know, how do you say that in Chinese? Focus on the now.
着眼当下.
Say it again.
Well, 着眼.
着眼.
Like putting your eyes. 当下, on right now.
当下. Okay. Yeah, I think sometimes that's important because we need to go out and stimulate ourselves where we just focus on what's happening in front of us, because we can be overburdened by things that we didn't do right, so the past, and then also worrying about the future, and so we forget to really enjoy the present. So I think that, you know, extreme sports are really, really good for that. And earlier you mentioned pushing yourself to the limits, but challenging your fears, right?
It's also important.
Yeah, I mean, I think it depends on the kind of fears that you want to challenge. Jumping off of a cliff is one way of challenging fears, right? But I think there's other ways you can do that as well. And I think that they have a lot of different benefits. But definitely confidence. And if you meet other adrenaline junkies, you can have expand your social network. But I'm not sure if that's healthy, because if you have a lot of friends that love taking risks, then you might have a shorter lifespan.
Yeah, but also for those young people who want to expand their social life, who want to have more interactions with the society, maybe it's also a good idea to give it a try of these sports. And I think there are a lot of professional help and guidance out there for us to take it safely and without actually threaten your life. So always remember to seek professional help and protection before you try some of the extreme sports.
Right.
And that brings us to the end of today's Takeaway Chinese. I'm Fei Fei with Tony Reed in the studio. For more episodes of the show, you can visit our website at radio.cgtn.com and go to the column podcast. You can listen to the show and read the script there.
Find us wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts, including Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and much more. Just search for Takeaway Chinese, and don't forget to leave us some comments, ratings, questions. We'd love to hear from you.
And we'll see you in the next one.
再见.